clouds and clouds.
Yeah, it's going to be that type of day. So, in some parts of the greater New Orleans area, we got a 100% chance of rain. And some places are going to be like 80, 81, and other places are going to be like 84, 85. So prepare accordingly. Get those rain umbrellas out. And you got the slickers or raincoats, and I tell you what, let's pray that we don't have anything like Saturday. You know, I mean, that was something, and we can have rain and manage it better, but I guess maybe we'll be working on not having any human errors.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah. So
hopefully not.
yeah. So try to do this without human errors, and as good Mother Nature, go ahead and do what you need to do, but maybe not so much in any single hour.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so what did it look
yeah.
like when you came in?
Oh, it's just cloudy.
Yeah.
No real rain. Well, maybe a little mist kind of thing, but no rain yet.
Mm, mm,
And I
mm.
do mean yet.
Yeah. Well, I had some sprinkles when I
Yeah.
came. I was leaving my place on the way, and I got over here, and there was no rain. But
Oh,
what you looking at?
where'd you get that shirt?
Uh huh.
Where'd you get that shirt?
Well, for those
Wow.
of you who can't see, tell them what you're talking about.
It's a St. Louis Cardinal, baseball Cardinal shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it looks like programs and stuff
Yeah.
from the past. And
Yep.
yeah, drawings of World Series trophy and years that they won the World Series.
Yep.
Nice shirt.
Yeah.
Where'd you steal that?
In my travels, I pick up a thing or two here and there.
Uh-huh.
Or sometimes my wife will say, "I think you'll look good in this."
Mhm.
Like, well,
Okay.
So for this one, it's like, well, I'm not a huge baseball fan,
Yeah.
and she said,
That's
"But I
pretty
like it.
nice. That's pretty
I like
nice.
it."
Yeah.
So
Nice,
it's a good
summery,
spring. I
comfortable,
was going to say it's a
comfortable, summery looking shirt.
yeah,
Yeah.
good spring, summer
Mhm.
kind of shirt. So I feel good in this shirt.
Wow.
You know?
My late friend, Ed Daniels, the sportscaster here, was a huge, huge St. Louis Cardinal fan.
Really?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He might beat you. He may have beaten you up and taken that shirt from you, boy.
Then he'd be showing all my extra that I'm carrying right now. So I'm glad he's not here.
Wow.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
not bad.
Well, for those of you,
sorry to get you off what you were talking about, but
no, it's all good. It's all good. Well, I want to make sure that you all know the time. Of course, it's 7:06 a.m. Got to be somewhere for 7:10. You got about 4 minutes, and every day you should aim to be a good driver. But on a day like this, it's especially important that you take care of your personal care items at home,
Mhm.
and that you are careful as you're driving these streets, because you know what, it's very easy to not see a splash of water, or a space where there's it's more wet than you think, especially
Mhm.
on an overpass or something,
Right.
and you're trying to come to a halt, and you didn't have enough space. Give that truck some space, so that you're not running into the other person. Because you know what? If you run into the other person, ding, 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 ding. Hopefully you have insurance, and it will be going up. So the others just are going to be looking for your insurance to pay.
Mhm.
So you definitely want to be careful out there today. And not much
Yeah.
change about the week. It looks like we're going to have partly sunny, partly cloudy. Going to have a nice Thursday, but then it's back. Partly cloudy, partly sunny, partly cloudy, partly sunny.
Hmm.
and that's going to be how the weekend looks. So just keep that in mind as you're planning your week. Doesn't mean don't go outside, but be prepared accordingly if you are headed out and about. So we've got a number of news and items and information to share with you. There are bunches of stuff that are things that are going on, and we need to make sure that we keep you update on at least a few of those things. And we're going to be talking to some folks about NIL with a twist.
NIL.
With a twist.
Name, image, and likeness.
Yeah, that started just a few years ago.
Yeah, for those who don't know, in recent years, collegiate athletes have been able to be paid for their name, image, and likeness. And we have talked about college. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, now, as expected, it will and already has, in a lot of cases, filtered down into high school. Yes, we're talking about high school athletes being paid for their name, image, and likeness. So, Louisiana has kind of done some things. The legislature has done a thing or two, and some other people were concerned about it. And some people are starting to, handle some of this in their own little ways. So we're going to talk to Kendall Crawford from St. Augustine High School, who is kind of in charge of what they are doing to prepare student athletes for name, image, and likeness. And we'll also, a little later, hope to talk to the winningest high school football coach in the country with 28 state championships. And that's Coach J.T. Curtis, John Curtis, who testified before the legislature about some of this stuff.
Just giving a shorthand of his resume is like, that's quite impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how many sports conferences, football conferences you go to.
Exactly.
Stand up if you won this many.
Yeah, exactly.
Stand up if you won this many.
And they ain't many standing up. Okay. Yeah. Very, very impressive. And an impressive person too.
Yeah. Well, we have a number of things, as I said. Well, one of the things is Leon Cannizzaro is back in the news.
Cannizzaro,
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Yep. He is back in the news. So, of course, he was a longtime judge and then district attorney for Orleans Parish, long time there. Decided not to run. Got picked up by the Attorney General, Jeff Landry. And then Jeff Landry ran for governor, and he stayed behind. And Liz Murrow, the Solicitor General, became Attorney General. And she looked around and said, you need to stay here.
Yeah.
So a little shuffle around with duties. And so he stayed in the AG's office and was a key link, has been a key link on Troop NOLA issues, working with the attorneys, doing that kind of thing. And then he retired. So he retired. So I'm sure he's doing well with his time from judiciary and his time from the district attorney's office and now time from the state. Well, now he has been appointed to the Louisiana Judiciary Commission. So this is the commission.
And what is that?
Yeah, this is the commission that oversees judicial misconduct. So they don't have the luxury of talking to judges and saying, "Here's what you need to learn." These are not teachers. You don't get any credits for going before them. if you're sitting before them, or even having some paperwork or digital work shared with them, somebody thinks that you did wrong.
In other words, they're the coach with the paddle in high school.
Yeah.
when you did something in English class, the English teacher sent you to the gym to see coach, that coach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
to put it in perspective for some people.
Yeah, for a lot of people, I'm sure. I mean, I've never been before Louisiana Judicial Commission.
No.
And I wouldn't. And if I was an attorney, I wouldn't unless somebody said Will Sutton did this, and then I have to go and defend myself. And so it's a full-fledged investigation type body, and then they decide. They decide some guilt or innocence, and what to do about it.
So what they do is they say that Judge Will Sutton, you did this improperly.
Yes.
And this is what we're going to do to you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Not like you're indicted and then there's a trial.
No.
So this is you did it.
Yep.
And this is how you're going to pay for it.
Yep.
Okay.
So think of them as a jury of sorts. So maybe a grand jury, because somebody has brought an action.
Right.
And it's your job as this commission, jury-like commission, to look at the facts and say, we're not going to hand up an indictment. And in this case, these are not indictments. These are not indictments. I'm just using an example. But so you don't hear about it anymore, just the parties involved. But if they make a recommendation, the Louisiana Supreme Court decides whether to act on their recommendation.
They don't punish.
They don't.
They make a recommendation
but their
to the state Supreme Court.
Yes, but their recommendation has some weight.
Yeah.
And attorneys, legal folks watch these things and it's like,
Right.
ooh.
That was bad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So then people who are looking for attorneys, if they are, get serious enough and they look up ethical misconduct, if you've got this on your record, you might not keep the business.
Yeah.
So even if you have quote unquote done your time, which doesn't mean jail.
Yeah.
At different levels of discipline.
Yeah.
With that. And, anyway, Mr. former DA has been appointed to this commission. On most other levels, when people are appointed to this commission, hardly anybody knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who are those people? I didn't even know we had one. But so he has been appointed, so it's become a news item among lawyers, judges, the legal community, and then it becomes bigger because he is who he is, and he's been who he is. And he said, he told NOLA.com, I wanted to listen to the cases and make decisions based on what's presented to me. I will do that in this job. So he's not talking about his Orleans DA time. He's talking about his judicial time.
Right.
And he's basically saying, I was fair when I was a judge, and I will be fair in this case. But with what's been going on, there are a lot of people concerned about, does he have some kind of political agenda?
And he says he does not.
He says he does not.
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, he says he does not. That's not him. Yes, I've worked for Attorney General Jeff Landry, who is now governor. Yes, I have worked for Attorney General, first Solicitor General Liz Merrill, and then Attorney General Liz Merrill. And that's not what this role is, and that's not how I'm looking at it. I'm there to do a job, and that's what I'm going to do.
and his daughter
Yes.
is the lady, the lawyer you saw
Yep.
for
Mhm.
Liz Murrow in the indictment
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Mhm.
Just thought that's what I thought I saw.
Feisty woman.
So I thought I saw. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yep, absolutely. So, one of the directors at Vera, Louisiana, which is a branch of Vera Institute of Justice, so think of it kind of like a chapter or an affiliate. Want to read this comment because she's describing what this is like. The Louisiana Judiciary Commission exists to uphold public confidence in the integrity, fairness, and independence of our courts. Appointments to that body should reflect those same values. Leon Canizero, that's it,
Canizero.
right?
Right.
Okay,
Mhm.
right. Record as Orleans Parish District Attorney was marked by deeply controversial prosecutorial practices and longstanding concerns about accountability. So, notice that she didn't say he will do that in his other job,
Mhm.
but based on his record and some
Mhm.
people's review of his record and some people's thinking about his record, there's reason for concern.
Yeah. Well, yeah, understandably so.
Yeah.
And the governor has talked a lot about the legal system in Orleans Parish, and they've talked a lot about judges and the number of judges and the type of judges and all that good stuff. So,
Yeah.
I'd expect something coming down the pike,
Right.
something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Sure.
And
You got to.
And just to refresh some memories and to tell others, he's the DA that used the fake subpoenas and threats of jail time, basically to pressure witnesses and victims to cooperate. So that became something that he defended as something that was DA notices, not fake subpoenas. So it's a notice.
Okay.
So, I mean, if I looked at your driver's license and you could say it's a license. I didn't say it's a driver's license. I just said it's a license.
Yep.
So language is important. And in an interview yesterday with my colleague Megan Freeman, he said he didn't get treated fairly with this whole fake subpoena.
All the same
thing.
lines.
Yeah.
All the same lines. you know, no matter what level of government, it seems you always hear.
Yep.
You know?
Well, yep. So that's in the news, and you might want to look that up and read more about that if you're interested in the former DA, or if you're interested in the Louisiana Judiciary Commission. It's an opportunity to learn about that, since I'm sure a whole bunch of people didn't know that exists. And it's also an opportunity to look up attorneys. All right, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we'll be bringing you more news and information. We're going to be having the New Orleans Police Department here today, and we're also going to have Victor Sims helping us with our mental health. I'm Will Sutton, and I'm here with Ro Brown. What's that talk line number, Ro?
504 582 9422.
This is WBOK 1230 a.m. what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. Developing this morning, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill wants answers on what led to her criminal indictment. Murrill, remember, faces charges for public intimidation and malfeasance in office for letters that she sent to New Orleans officials. Murrill's legal team is requesting a number of documents, filing a subpoena. According to court records, Murrill's legal team is asking a judge to order DA Jason Williams and retired Judge Lori White to surrender their communications and records related to the investigation. Well, with many of you waking up to rain this morning, the Sewage and Water Board is trying to get a handle on pump problems that caused streets to fill with water over the weekend. This comes as Councilwoman Amy McCarron plans to tour Pump Station 7 today to get a better understanding of how they work. The Sewage and Water Board says it has launched an internal investigation after pumps at Station 7 went offline Saturday due to what they called human error. And destruction tears through a house of worship, leaving Connect Church with more than $10,000 worth of damage. Shattered windows, broken TVs, smashed instruments, and so much more damage remains at the church this morning. The NOPD tells us they still don't have any suspects in custody, so if you know anything at all that can help, call Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. And that is a look for you at today's headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBO.
Hey, everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 AM, the station you listen to.
All day long.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. Want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. Want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 1230 a.m. See you on Saturday.
This is Andronica Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Mostly cloudy today with scattered showers and storms, mostly for the first half of the day. Most of that starts to fizzle by late afternoon. Some of that could be on the heavier side. Highs reach 85 to 87 because of those clouds, and lows tonight fall to 71 to 76. By Wednesday, we do return to that typical summer pattern. Afternoon showers with highs into the lower 90s. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reeshaw.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. If you've been with us since 7:02, 7:04, 6, 10, 12, whenever, or if you are just tuning in, it is 7:27 a.m., which means if you got to be somewhere at 7:30, you got about 3 minutes to get there. So go slow. Make sure you get there safe and sound. Watch out for our babies and kiddos who might be trying to dance around the raindrops, but be careful, whatever you do. Look, we told you before the break that we'd be talking about NIL, and not just at the college level, but at the high school level. So we've got a special guest today, Kendall Crawford, and Ro knows Kendall better than I do, but I am a Purple Knight.
Well, ask Kendall the same question you ask everybody else when they're on this show. And Kendall will probably understand the question.
Okay.
So
right.
go on, and you know you want to
Kendall,
do that.
Kendall.
Yes, sir.
When's the last time you were on WBOK?
Ooh, it's been a minute.
Okay, so let's do some background info on who you are and why I mentioned St. Augustine High School, the best high school in New Orleans.
Oh, just get to
Kendall,
get to the question that you always ask people.
Kendall, who's your mama
Yes.
and them? Who's your mama and them? Come on.
And you know that means tell us about yourself.
Correct. So I'm Kendall Crawford. I'm Director of Student Affairs and External Engagement at St. Aug. I do also oversee our NIL educational program. I am a proud graduate of the best high school in the city of New Orleans, probably the world, St. Augustine High School, class of 2013. Yeah, I'm excited to be on.
Okay, so, and what's your title again?
Director of External Engagement and Student Affairs, and I oversee our NIL program.
Okay, so why you? Why did they
That's
appoint
a great
you?
question, Rob.
And not that I'm questioning whether or not you can do the job.
No.
Just how did what you do fall in under that? And you just talk about what you do. First of all, tell people what NIL is. We've already told them a little bit, but
Yep. So NIL is name, image, and likeness. Honestly, it's just not even a sports thing. Every individual has the rights to their own name, image, and likeness.
Mm-hmm.
To answer your question of why me, I want to say it's more capacity. I'm pretty young-ish, so I have the capability of still doing a lot of things without the responsibilities of going home to a child or anything like that, for being honest. But I do love the work of speaking to our families, speaking to the community about the importance of protecting themselves. And it's something that I've always been passionate about. So they kind of tapped me on the shoulder, asked me if I wanted to do it. I was like, sure, why not? Seems like good work.
Okay.
So,
go on.
So how many high school folks on staff responsible for NIL? I mean, I have to say, yes, I'm a bit older than you. There's some classrooms that's had updates many times since I was there.
Yeah.
But we certainly didn't use the letters NIL, and
Right.
we didn't say the words name, image, and likeness. And there was no thinking of having somebody around focusing on that. So how long have you and others been doing this kind of job in a high school?
Yeah, so that's a really interesting question. On paper, NIL for us educationally we're going on year 2 of doing this, but in St. Augustine history, we've always taught our students about, and myself as a former student, about making sure that you're protecting your name, image, and likeness, making sure you're representing yourself well. So I want to say we're celebrating our 75th year. So for 75 years, we've been doing this work. And it's not just an athletic department. It's our teachers. It's our custodial staff. It's everyone in the building, making sure that we're upholding the standards of making sure we look well and representing well in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Well, Kendall, I want somebody to join into this conversation with us, from another side of it. Well, I don't guess that much of a difference in what you two are doing.
Right.
But, the difference between you and he is that you haven't won 28 state football titles.
Not even close.
That's really the only difference, okay? That that's in this case, that's the only difference I'll give, okay? I want to welcome to the show Coach J.T. Curtis. Coach, how you doing, sir?
Doing good, Ro. Good to be with you all.
Well, we're talking about Name, image, and likeness, and that's Kendall Crawford from St. Augustine High School. And Kendall, what are y'all doing already? We'll get to, the nuts and bolts of this. What are you doing already at St. Aug, and, why and who did you realize that you should get something done about this, because this is filtered down from college to high school?
Yeah, so I'll first say that I think Coach Curtis said it right in the article the other day, that there are a lot of people that are out there with not they want to do well for the students, but they're just not qualified to do well for the students when it comes to representation. So when we looked at the landscape of it, it was like, okay, we have to make sure that our families are educated about what they should be looking for, what the questions they should be asking of people that's trying to represent them, and what they need to be doing on their own, understanding certain contract language, understanding the importance of brand management. So we have encompassed all of that in our programming with the help of the Davila Law Group. Obviously, their owner is another graduate of St. Aug, Daniel, graduated in '85. And they have been tremendous partners with us, making sure that we're hitting on all the right spots so our families understand the importance of being educated and not just going to sign a deal and chasing quick money.
Coach Curtis?
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is the right way to ask this at the right time. What's the problem?
The problem is that we have interfered in the process. Ro, you and I have been around long enough. I don't know how old Kendall is, but I can't imagine he's like you.
You're right about that.
And certainly not like me. But, we've been around long enough to know that college recruiting has always been there. And it's always been a process where colleges have staffs and they have scouting departments that are able to reach out and identify talent and begin to recruit them, and in some cases into their sophomore and junior year in high school. Mm-hmm. That was an exception to the rule, but it did happen. And what's happened is that once they realize once the community realized there was money involved in this thing, and the money was open, because in the old days, if you did what we were doing today, they would ban your program and kill it for a number of years. And now it's open. And so a lot of people that thought they could take advantage of that opportunity to make money for themselves and thought, and I say thought, I would not judge their motives. Perhaps they did have positive motives and were trying to do something good for the student athlete, which, by the way, is a name that we don't use very often anymore.
No.
We talk NIL. We don't talk student athlete anymore, which is a real crime. But what's happened is that they have begun to interject themselves into the process, and they go to colleges and say, I can do this. I can get this boy on your campus. I can do this for you. I can do. And as a result, the colleges have responded, and I think they are a culprit in this to some degree, that they've allowed it to take place. And it's created an environment of unqualified people that are trying to do representation in a very complicated legal world. And as Kendall said, contracts can be very binding and can be very constrictive, and you need to be someone that is highly qualified to be able to read through the fine print of a contract in order to protect you as a player, or at least going in what the fine print is.
So this is Will Sutton, Kendall, and Coach Curtis. And I'm not a deep sports guy. I enjoy sports, but I'm not Ro Brown. and the difference is that he's in Hall's plural of fame and knows everybody. I'm a news guy. So I want to know some more about the facts and accuracy and examples. So what kind of binds are some of these kids getting into as a result of dealing with people who don't know what they're doing?
Well, I think one of the obvious is tax implications.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, I think, is an exorbitant rate that's being charged. In the National Football League, the rule is 3%, 5% if you do everything for the athlete. I'm talking about you do everything from ironing the shirts to getting this car. But some of these kids are being charged 20, 25%. and then when you look at the tax implications, that they have to pay the tax on the total amount after the agent takes his money out. They're not making the kind of money that people think that he thinks he's going to be making, and that's why it's so important for an agent to have the ability to say, okay, this is how this works. This is the process. I want you to understand it. This is how I take my percentage out. This is how it's going to impact you from a liability and a tax standpoint. And the second thing is that you have to perform the task that's in the contract.
Yeah.
You have to live up to that, or it's voided, or it's penalized. So there's just that I say is just some of the legal things from a athletic standpoint. I think we're telling young people that they can void the process, that they've already achieved, they've already arrived at this level. And so younger kids that are 9th, 10th, and even into the 11th grade sometimes get their head turned when they're told things that aren't accurate, and eliminate the process to help them develop their potential to its fullest.
So let me use real estate as an example so I can better understand this. There are people who are real estate agents. There are people who are real estate assistants, and there are realtors. Are all of these people calling themselves agents, but they're not agents?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, the task force has tried to put together some stipulation to call yourself an agent.
Yep.
In my opinion, we did a good job in a very difficult process, but there's more to be done. But at least now you have to register. You have to pass a background check. You have to have some understanding of contract, and you have to be able to make sure that you're protecting students that are under the age of 18 from a legal perspective. We've put some things in that are trying to make a so-called agent really an agent that understands the ramifications of what he's doing. There, in my opinion, is more to be done. But as you know, in law, it's a process, and it takes time, and we'll have to work through it as the years go by.
We're talking to Kendall Crawford of St. Augustine High School and Coach J.T. Curtis. We're talking about name, image, and likeness. NIL, it has come to high school. Coach, you mentioned the task force. What task force? What are you talking about?
Back in July of last year, I got contacted by one of our representatives that asked me would I be willing to sit on a task force that would be made up of legislators and college and universities, athletic directors, and in some instances we had several athletes that had already been through this process at the collegiate level, and then 2 high school representatives, one from the northern part of the state, the principal at Woodlawn High School, and myself. And, the road, to be honest with you, I hesitated because the meetings were going to be during the season.
Yeah.
We met 5 times, and I had to go to Baton Rouge, and as soon as that was over, try to beat it back, get ready for practice, et cetera, et cetera. But I felt like it was just too important not to do it. I think that and to be honest with you, in our first meeting, it became obvious that our legislators really had no idea that these so-called street agents or these unqualified agents were out doing business. They thought it was qualified people. They thought it was maybe an attorney or a tax guy that got into it, and that was not the case. And so as the more and more we dealt into it, they became more and more aware of the pitfalls, and that's what we tried to address. And the Attorney General was involved with us, and it was a very productive. Brianna Golden headed it up for us, and she did a wonderful job of organizing and calling the meetings, keeping it on focus, on task, and we were able to get the legislature passed. And then after that, I went before the House of Representative Education Committee and the Senate Education Committee and went through another series of questions and so forth, and then that's how they put the laws together.
Okay, so this is Will Sutton, guys, and we've been used to for some years here in NIL and college athletes of various kinds, different sports, and we often hear about the $1 million deals and the multi-million-dollar deals. These high school students are not getting millions of dollars, are they?
No.
No.
Let me
No.
rephrase. Rarely.
Right.
And that's part of the problem. I think everybody thinks they're looking for the golden egg.
Correct.
And there are some rare exceptions. And we have some in our community that'll be in that position, but they're rare. Most of these are kids that they're trying to get 50, 25, 50, 75, $100,000 deals done. And again, that sounds like a lot of money, and it is until you start subtracting.
Mm-hmm.
And again, a lot of folks don't understand how it works, how the subtraction works, and that's how you get yourself in trouble. I think I've got $100,000. Go buy me a new car, and before you know it, the car note is more than what you have left.
Which brings us to Kendall. What do you do? What kind of things, what hands-on things do you do with your kids now, in your job?
Kendall, we're going to go to a break, and then when we come back, I want you to answer that question at 7:44 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and I'm here with Ro Brown. We're talking with Coach Curtis, and we're talking with Kendall Crawford. And we're going to get an answer to that right after this break. Ro Brown, what's that talk line number for folks who want to call in during this show?
The number is 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Trying to grow your business or increase traffic to your location? We can help. WBOK 1230 AM has a number of solutions that will meet your individual needs. Give one of our consultants a call today at 504-582-9420 or email us at info@wbok1230.com. And remember, an investment with WBOK is an investment in our community. Call today.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show at 7:46 a.m. I am Will Sutton, and with me is Ro Brown. We're talking about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and not the college kind. High school.
Yes, and we're talking to Coach J.T. Curtis of John Curtis Christian High School and Kendall Crawford of St. Augustine High School. My question at the before we went to break, Kendall, what do you do? What are you doing? I'm not sure there are very many schools who have this already because it's so new. Just, what do you do?
Yeah, our mission is obviously to educate. We're still an academic institution. As Coach Curtis said, it's still academics first. Just put that out there. Our mission is to educate, prepare, and to protect every student athlete that we have and their families by making sure they're knowledgeable, making sure they have all the resources that they need to make informed decisions, not just about the now, but later down the line. Like Coach Curtis said, you can sign a contract that can have you in a bind for 10 years, and you don't even know it because you don't have the legal wherewithal to understand what's in it. The tax purposes, we bring in tax attorneys, tax lawyers, tax people to, again, hey, I get this amount of money. What are the tax implications of that? So making sure that our families are financially literate. The brand management, I think that's maybe an overstated piece. because it's not just NIL related, but that's life related. Like, how are you carrying yourself in the community? That's going to prepare you for life after ball as well. So we try to incorporate all of those things in some mini workshops throughout the year. We'll have some one-on-ones with families that ask for extra help. But we're really, really invested in the education of it all for our families.
Coach Curtis, before I go to a phone call, how deep is this? And I guess what I'm asking you is, how far down is this NIL talk?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, is it just seniors? Is it just 12th graders?
That's middle school. I would tell you in the last 2 years, it has nosedived all the way down into rising ninth graders.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you know this for a fact.
For a fact.
Okay.
For a fact.
You would know. 504-582-9422. We got a phone call. Let's go to Don. Don, how you doing, sir?
Doing well this morning, Roy and Will, and a great honor to be on the line with the Coach Curtis, J.C. Curtis. All right, and the young man Crawford. My two questions quickly. We mentioned student athlete, no more student athlete. That's a classification. What role does classification, which is an expansive term, if you will, as it pertains to student athletes being classified as student athletes, or they be independent contractors, or they entities in and of themselves under NIL? And you talk about qualifications and classification of agents. The classification of agents. Well, under NIL, that falls under trademark, which is under the United States Patent and Trademark Office. And to be a patent agent, you have to have a STEM background, a technical background, to be an agent, to take the bar to be a patent agent, let alone be a patent attorney.
But what's your two questions?
Lawyer.
What are your
How does that relate to siphoning out the issues of technical expertise and how you classify these athletes and their relationships, not only to the NIL, but to the entity of the NIL, and how they can structure their own NIL entity, empire, if you will?
All right, Dan, thank you.
All right. Lord's blessings. Guys?
I'll take the first question for sure.
Okay.
I think even under NIL, student athletes are student athletes. That never changes. They attend school. They have academic standards that they have to hit. There are tests they have to pass. They have to get into college. So I don't think that will ever change, especially at the high school level, and even at the collegiate level. They still have classes. It may look a little different, but they still have classes that they have to pass and things like that. So a student athlete is going to always be a student athlete, no matter if they're making money or not.
Mm-hmm. JT, anything to say on that?
Yeah, and I think that's right. But what happens is that no longer do we talk in talking to the college coaches. I am telling you what they tell me when they come into my office, that the lead into the conversation after the niceties are all done is tell me about your NIL or tell me about your revenue share.
Mm-hmm.
Revenue share is what the colleges are able to give to each one of the athletes.
Right.
The NIL is dictated by who they can get from a collegiate level to enhance this young man so that he will come to my school.
Okay.
And they work that because it's a very strong recruiting tool. And that's the whole part of the problem. Some of these kids are not being told exactly the ramifications of all of what they have signed and what they will be obligated to. We did use the kind of the platelet, I guess you would say, of a movie. A movie has a protection for young people where X number of dollars has to go into an account and so forth. We hadn't gone that far yet, but I'm hoping that we will be able to do that. So we have used some of that platelet that was out there on a federal level and even at our state level to begin to address this problem.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, with revenue sharing, which was court ordered revenue sharing in college
Correct.
athletics. Everybody gets something.
That's correct.
But NIL is the people who get a little or a lot extra.
Yeah, a little or a lot. And it's a recruiting process. It's a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a recruiting tool. And like I said, we have young men in our community this year that are going to go through that. And they're going to make a decision about where they're going to go to school based on a lot of times, and I shouldn't say all, but let me just say many will make that decision based on what is their best NIL deal. And here's the other deal, Ro. There are limitations in the contract in terms of the terms or the limitations of the time. If you haven't performed well after a year, if your contract is for a year, then you're done. You're out. I mean, it's a cutthroat business at this point. It is a world business. It's no longer an athletic. Let's make sure we're taking care of the athlete first. They got to take care of themselves through their agent and what they sign.
Well, I have a question that, based on what Kendall said a little earlier, which is it's not just athletes. So first part of the question is, have we seen this with girls yet?
Yes.
And have we seen this with non-athletes? And I'll just use some examples. Have we seen this with choir members or a debate team or, folks in what sometimes are called minor sports, golf and swimming? Has it reached into those areas and across the gender line?
It has definitely reached across the gender line, yes. And the minor sports are involved, but not near to the degree that your major sports are.
Victory. Yep.
Kendall, you know how kids are. Yeah. They're not interested in a lot of things sometimes, we got to go talk to Mr. Crawford about this.
Right.
My girlfriend's waiting for me over there and I got to go talk, and none of this stuff applies to me. What kind of reception you get?
I think at first the reception was almost like what you say, like, do we really have to do this? But once we actually sat down and explained why it's important, not just for college ball or anything like that, just for life in general, they kind of understood, and the families for sure understood, hey, we actually need to be attending these sessions. So the reception has been great over the last year and a half, and they're even excited about what's to come this year. So the reception has been great for the educational piece of this.
JT, what do you think about a program like that? Like they have at St. Augustine.
I think education is key. I think making sure that people are informed. And again, Ro, I think the key is to be open, that parents don't have to fear, I don't want to cause a problem, or I can handle this myself. I want them to be open to come in and say, this is what I'm being told. This is where I am. What can I do? What should I do? And then you can give some advice, and then they have to make their decision based on what they think is the best interest of their family. But our responsibility, and I said this earlier, I think one of the things that we've done is that we have negated our responsibility up with education in terms of what the emphasis has been at the collegiate level. And I hope we can get back to that some kind of way. Reggie Dupart was in my office, who I know you know, several months ago. And he told me, he said, Coach, what are these college guys? Who do they identify with? Who's their alumni base? And I said, Reg, I never thought of it that way. He said, I still live in Dallas, and I interact with my SMU alums and business people that we do business with, and we have a network and that was one of the reasons I went to this school. He said, but where do guys go who have gone to 4 or 5 schools in a matter of 4 or 5 years? Who do they? And he's right.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, these are problems that I think are going to manifest itself down the road. We're not going to see it right now, but we're going to see it down the road, I'm telling you.
Well, before we let you go, there are a number of parents, grandparents, aunts, TDs out there, what should they know and think about if they've got a young athlete or a young man, a young woman, and they have some of these folks saying, "I know what I'm doing." How can they vet them and be as careful as possible moving forward?
I'm going to tell you what I think. Trust the process. Let your son or your daughter grow through the process as a freshman and as a sophomore. Make sure that they're training appropriately, that they're in there, that they've disciplined themselves to do the things that they're supposed to do in terms of their off-season conditioning and their discipline off the court. The things that we've always done to help athletes develop their potential. Everybody has something, but how it's played out and how it's developed depends on the school being able to provide them with the resources necessary, and the athlete having an understanding of this is what I need to do in order to reach my goal. You haven't reached your goal when you're a freshman in high school and you're being told you're already there. And if we can eliminate that from the thought process, it certainly would go a long way to help these guys achieve what could be beneficial to them in the future, what could be very, very significant to them in the future. But I'm afraid that we have kind of eliminated that by what we're telling people they want to hear rather than what they need to hear.
Well, this has been an excellent, excellent conversation. I want to thank Kendall Crawford of St. Augustine High School and Coach J.T. Curtis for the time that both of you have given us this morning. You got to understand, people, this man's not just a football coach. He's the headmaster of that whole school, okay? So he has other things to do.
I'll be heading there in a minute, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Jen.
All right, Kendall, JT. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Good conversation.
Thank you all.
All right. Look, folks, that was a great conversation, but we're going to have another one coming after the break. Our friend Victor Sims will be coming in. And he's going to talk about the emotional benefits of vacation and time off. It's summertime. A lot of people think about it, but some people don't do it. It's like, I got things to do. And all of a sudden, June becomes July, becomes September. So we got Victor Sims right after the break. This is WBOK, 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. Waterworld reopened Sunday after a bomb threat forced the evacuation of about 4,000 guests and an early closure Saturday. Federal Heights, Colorado Police Commander Jason Schlenker.
Rely on more than likely local and federal partners to try to learn the identity of the individuals involved.
Police say no credible threat was found, and investigators are examining whether it's linked to similar incidents at amusement parks nationwide. Teams interested in signing LeBron James are reportedly making their pitches through voice notes sent to his agent. ESPN says the 41-year-old is reviewing the messages while vacationing, with no decision timeline announced. And Georgia rapper Lil Tunk is in custody in connection with a 2024 homicide in Fulton County. Authorities arrested the rapper, whose real name is Tavorian Lindsay, near a Lamar County nightclub Saturday night and seized multiple firearms. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
I'm here with Ro Brown, and we're going to be jumping into a conversation with Victor Sims talking about time off. Mr. Sims, it's so good to have you back.
Same
I
here.
learn
Same
something
here.
every time. There are stretches when I don't do so good with time off.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean?
I don't think I'm unusual.
You don't do so good with time off?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, it's like, I'll get to it. And
Oh,
so,
you don't do okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll get to it.
Not while you're off.
No. Well, that too, because there's job creep. And it's like feeling that, geez, I'm missing something, or I should have done. So sometimes if it's a longer break, then it takes me a day or two to really break away and rest. But
Yeah. Well, this conversation is based upon the fact that we as human beings, we can't just keep going and going and going and going and going, no matter how productive that we actually are. Because actually there's a business term called diminishing returns. And when we are working too much, even though we might be enjoying what we're doing, we can actually have a reduction in our productivity and not even recognize it. When this kind of thing happens, when I ran an inpatient psychiatric unit, I would always check time and attendance on my employees. Like we get paid on a Thursday, Friday morning, I get the printout to see, who did what, when, where, and how. And I was doing it for a couple of reasons. One, to check anybody who's violating time and showing up or not in work, or also who's worked extra hours. If you hit 50 hours, you need to come talk to me. I need to see where your head is. I need to see if you're still able to be polite, to be understanding to the patient that we're working with, because a lot of our patients didn't have that themselves. So, and sometimes I would get employees complaining about employees that will come in and say, oh, this person doing this, doing that, and the other. So I checked the time, and most of the time, sure enough, they were over 50 hours. And there's a term that we call burnout. And burnout is when the individual has worked so much that they're now a little bit more focused on the work than how they're performing the work and how they get along with other employees. And sometimes they're a little short with being able to deal with something not working well or someone not showing up exactly on time. And their attitude and their ability to tolerate that has been reduced. And one of the things I found about the burned out person, they're the last person to realize that they burned out. Everybody else knows it because of their attitude changes, their vocabulary change, facial expressions change. When a person has less tolerant of something that's not going as perfectly as it's supposed to go. So taking that time off, the weekends, weekends were created for us to take time away from work so that we can relax and get involved in other activities. Vacation time, same deal. We need to take that time off because it helps us not only emotionally, but also physically as well, to get away from our daily responsibilities. Some people who thoroughly enjoy what they do, and I happen to be one of them individuals. I thoroughly enjoy what I do. And I can go and not recognize that I need that time off, but I have somebody who tell me that my office manager also had me, my wife let me know, we need to go on vacation. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Well, just we need to go on vacation. I know what she means when she says that.
Right. Yeah. I've known you long enough. I see some things, trust me.
Yeah, there's some things going on here that maybe you don't see. Because when you're really into what you do, you're into what you do. But you don't recognize that you're paying the price for it. The reason for this, guys, we're human. That's the bottom line. And the human being needs a break from what they're doing. The purpose of even sleep is necessary for us to recharge not only our bodies, but our brains as well. Taking time off, getting away from your stress, getting away from your responsibilities from time to time helps us to recharge those batteries so we're now better able to do the job that we really want to do.
Okay, so Victor, so you got somebody like me who tells people time and time again, I did what I did because I didn't want to work for a living. Okay, now that's half true and part true. No, not really. But I'm serious about it. I tell people, I didn't want to work for a living. Okay, teachers work. Okay,
yeah.
The guys you see working for sewage and water board, they work.
Gotcha.
Okay, I didn't work to me, but that's my personal feeling. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't really work. So somebody like me, how would I know? How would I feel? I mean, how would I know when I'm working too much?
Well, you see, that's the part. You might not know because you enjoy it so much. The people around you, they will begin to notice that maybe you're a little bit shorter and we're dealing with a glitch or a problem or a difficulty. Or maybe your voice is a little bit louder or the facial expressions have begun to change and look a little harder behind a mistake or an accident that take place. And you might not know because the person who would you and I are about the same thing. I love what I do. I can do what I do 7 days a week. But I know that after the 5 days, I might not be as efficient as what I'm doing. I may not be as understanding as I would have been earlier. Because of the fact that now your brain is beginning to get a little tired and needs a break away from it. So you might not know because you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
But you also get a little shorter with mistakes, with glitches. Again, facial expression may change. You're so focused on what it is you're doing, you're not recognizing that there's a difficulty with dealing with the people around you.
I probably shouldn't say this, but
You on the radio.
I think probably shouldn't say this.
Okay, come on,
about
man, you
myself.
already
But,
said it.
but no, what I'm about to say is, I don't think I ever had that problem.
Okay.
I really don't.
Okay.
I don't think I've had that problem. And the reason why I don't think I kind of, I worked with people who I thought worked too much.
Okay.
And worked too long, and to the point where I'd have to tell them sometimes, and people would say, well, but you're so laid back. I said, no, I just know that there's sometimes when I could be at work, but I'm chilling.
Okay.
Okay, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or they might see me at a game and I'm off, but I'm not really working. I'm just at the game. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just here. Okay.
Well, see,
now, like I always tell people, I may be there being nosy and finding out something, but that's not the same thing.
No.
So I don't think that I ever, really had that problem. I don't think I really don't. I don't think. I mean, I knew when, I'm not going to this game. Not, this is a good game. I like to go, but I'm gonna go see this movie instead. Or I'm gonna go to this concert instead.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean? And I've worked with people that would never do that.
Yeah.
Would never have thought about doing that. Okay. And so that's why I say that's what I meant when I say I probably shouldn't say this.
No.
I think I
mean,
did.
each thing for everybody. Okay. And if you are enjoying yourself, now if you're there officially for the station that you're working for, then you're at work.
And I got a deadline, and I got to get this story.
That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. When you have those responsibilities that you have to have. Now you're able to do things because you enjoy that particular sport, the thing that you do. And if you're there because you want at the game, but somebody knows that you're Ro Brown, the sports person, they're going to come up to you and want to know about, the sport and you might say something at that point in time, but you don't have, again, that deadline. You don't have a responsibility. You don't have it is those type of things that begin to cause the burnout or the difficulty with doing it or dealing with the responsibilities. And don't let a glitch happen. Or something, or somebody doesn't do what they're supposed to do when you have that deadline. Sometimes if we're well rested, we can tolerate that. We're still going to be pushing to get it done. But if we're in that exhausted phase and we get that glitch, that individual didn't show up on time or didn't push the right button it was supposed to, that's when you see that emotion changing to something a little bit more, I'm going to use this word, but a little stronger than I want, a little more hostile.
Right.
A little more, less tolerant, of the mistake, and that's when you see it because most mistakes are going to be cleared up.
Yeah.
You know, that's problem. And we make in a speech class I took, the instructor said that, look, if you're giving your speech and you make a mistake, just keep going. Don't stop, don't draw attention to it.
Yeah.
But the individual who's burned out, they're gonna stop.
Yeah.
They're gonna have a problem.
And react.
They're gonna react to it, and that's the time when okay, it's time for me to get out of here for a little while. And for some people, they get so locked into their profession that they feel as though if they did leave, somehow they're gonna miss something, or it's not gonna get done right the way it's supposed to be done. So they're really intense. At one time when I ran that unit, when I took some time off, it took me 3 days to get into the vacation.
Yeah.
I was still my
still
mind thinking about stuff I need to get done, who I need to talk to, what I need to do that. I knew at that point in time, I need to get away.
Yeah.
I need to go because you can become almost obsessed with the success or the business that you're into to the point where you don't recognize that becomes your sole focus. And in actuality, your occupation is your ability to take care of the rest of your life. That's what the occupation is. For me to bring everything home to the cave, but that's where the important part. But if I'm bringing my tiredness, my frustration, my irritation home, again, that's when my person at home tells me, okay, it's time for us to take a vacation. You need some time off. So taking time off, it is important. From a physiological standpoint as well, from physically, we can get worn down and not recognize it. Proper diet, proper rest, proper sleep. These things are necessary for us to continue going because we are human. And when those things begin to feel physically tired and drained, emotionally, we have less tolerance as well. We have less ability to deal with difficulties and hardships. So it's important that we do take some time off. And even if we don't think we need some, listen to the people around you. Yeah. If they're beginning to look at you funny and say certain things to you, maybe it's time that you need to take a little time off. And you're not going to lose anything. Yeah. Because some people think about take time off. In some professions, they got somebody waiting there to take your place.
Yeah.
Right. And that type of situation may cause that person to stay in that position longer than what they needed to because they're concerned about what's taking place behind them. But what they're slipping is the fact that you done went overtime, you're beginning to have them diminishing returns, which give that person waiting in the wings an opportunity to step in. So it is important that we do take time off from a physiological standpoint, from a psychological standpoint, and definitely from an emotional standpoint.
I was in a bathroom at a public place a couple of years ago. And, when you got to go, you got to go. Everybody's got to go at some point. And most of the time, unless it's at church, you don't know the other people standing at the nearby urinals. But they're having conversations with people they do know. So these were 2 or 3 attorneys. And I only knew that because of what they were talking about. And they were talking about, this was December.
Okay.
And they were talking about, what are you doing for the holidays? And, can we do this and can we do that? And the one guy said, man, I'm a partner now. I can't take off. I can't take off. It's the holidays. And they expect me to be available all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah. 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 You have those type of professions and drive, because individuals have a drive to accomplish and achieve certain situations. And those things can force us into thinking situations that if we take time off, somehow it's going to diminish our ability to be productive and maintain. And unfortunately, there are some occupations where that may be a fact, that the individuals in charge are so powerful, I guess, that those who coming up under them have to put in time and energy that really goes beyond what's necessary in order to accomplish the task. And if that person is able to do so, you be prepared for mental collapse. Because there's going to be a difficult time, especially if he feels that kind of pressure. He's not even at work. He's at the urinal complaining about how much work he got. So what do you think he's doing emotionally inside of him? If at the urinal he's talking about it, you know? So, and there are situations like that. And I've dealt with a number of clients who I've had to talk to about, maybe you want to consider some time off. And you can see the anxiety, the tension builds up because they're high profile individuals and they have a lot of responsibilities. But, you can see if you're sitting with me, maybe there's some issue there that we want to talk about, your inability to tolerate the difficulty of your occupation and how it is impacting you emotionally. Because if that is the case, definitely home is got a little difficult, because home doesn't care about what you do out in the street. Once you get home, they're expecting you now to be the daddy or the mother or whoever responsibility you have there at that place to say, I'm tired. Okay, I mean, you can be, but I guess you're going to get some funny looks from your kids. Your kids are going to be wondering, and kids don't really care. The kids got this giant sign across their chest, this giant neon sign, flashing light saying, love me now. Not when you're tired, not when you woke up, but I need it now. But if that individual has reached that point of almost a burnout, then that's going to be a little difficult once you get home. There's going to be some disappointment taking place. And these things can be avoided if the individual recognized they were human. We need time off from a physiological standpoint, psychological standpoint, and emotional standpoint.
All right, we're going to take a break. I'm Will Sutton with Ro Brown, and we're in conversation with Victor Sims, talking about something very important, talking about vacation and taking time off, the impact on you physically and mentally, and why it's important. I know sometimes I've struggled with that. I've been getting better. And one of the things is short-term breaks. So not just a week or 10 days, but short-term breaks. And so perhaps we can talk about that after the break as well. Ro Brown, what's that phone number for the talk line for anybody to call if they want to weigh in?
The number is 504-582-9422. We got Victor Sims, who is a graduate of Booker T. Washington High School, by the way, since people talking about their high schools this morning.
All right, this is WBOK, 12:30 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. Developing this morning, Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrill wants answers on what led to her criminal indictment. Murrill, remember, faces charges for public intimidation and malfeasance in office for letters that she sent to New Orleans officials. Murrill's legal team is requesting a number of documents, filing a subpoena. According to court records, Murrill's legal team is asking a judge to order DA Jason Williams and retired Judge Lori White to surrender their communications and records related to the investigation. Well, with many of you waking up to rain this morning, the Sewage and Water Board is trying to get a handle on pump problems that caused streets to fill with water over the weekend. This comes as Councilwoman Amy McCarron plans to tour Pump Station 7 today to get a better understanding of how they work. The Sewage and Water Board says it has launched an internal investigation after pumps at Station 7 went offline Saturday due to what they called human error. And destruction tears through a house of worship, leaving Connect Church with more than $10,000 worth of damage. Shattered windows, broken TVs, smashed instruments, and so much more damage remains at the church this morning. The NOPD tells us they still don't have any suspects in custody, so if you know anything at all that can help, call Crime Stoppers at 504-822-1111. And that is a look for you at today's headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBO.
Hello, friend. Tavis Smiley here with a special announcement. You can catch my show at a new time. Weekdays from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Same great topics, same great guests, same great conversations, just a little earlier in the day. It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays 1 to 4 p.m. only on WBOK 1230 a.m. What New Orleans is talking about.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
When it comes to family planning, should you go with a will or a trust?
A will is like leaving instructions to the court. It tells them who gets what, but your family still has to go through a succession, which can be costly and time-consuming.
A trust, on the other hand, avoids court altogether. So when the time comes, everything transfers smoothly to your loved ones.
It's a little more work up front, but way less hassle and expense later. Plan smart, save time, and take care of your family.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. I want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 1230 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and do not have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you do not pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call. If you've been injured in an auto accident, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524. 800-269-4524.
This is your news update for WBOK from WDSU. For all your news and weather, watch WDSU News, New Orleans' leader in live, local, late-breaking news. Today at noon and 4 p.m.
Mostly cloudy today with scattered showers and storms, mostly for the first half of the day. Most of that starts to fizzle by late afternoon. Some of that could be on the heavier side. Highs reach 85 to 87 because of those clouds, and lows tonight fall to 71 to 76. By Wednesday, we do return to that typical summer pattern. Afternoon showers with highs into the lower 90s. For the WDSU First Warning Weather Center, I'm Raven Reeshaw.
Good morning. Wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Morning Show. I'm Wilson. I'm here with Ro Brown. It's 8:27 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:30. You got about 3 minutes to get there. So I hope you're well on your way in that parking spot and walking in. Or perhaps you've already grabbed your cup of coffee or tea at the workplace in the break room, and you're sitting down ready to go. We're in conversation with Victor Sims, and we're talking about taking time off and vacation and how important that is for your mental health. Before the break, I raised the question about short-term breaks versus, the 5, 7, 10, 12, 14-day breaks that these days, not a whole lot of people taking a 14-day break.
Mm-hmm.
So what about 2 and 3 day breaks and having an actual weekend?
Yeah.
Or having a 3-day weekend that's not a holiday weekend, and giving yourself some time.
Yeah, those are important. That's why we have weekends to take time away. Now, to take time away actually means taking time away, because some individuals will still try to, based on their being responsible and certain job responsibilities, to take their work with them into some form of a time off situation. Well, I can take something, and nowadays with our modern computerized world, and people can walk around with their laptops and work, they can work, riding in the car or sitting on the bus, if you're on the bus, and they're still into it. And it is that type of situation that can cause that gradual burnout situation that's taking place, because I'm constantly working even at that time off. When we say time off, we literally mean time off. I'm getting away from my daily stuff. I'm getting into an entirely new set of thoughts, behaviors, activities, concepts. I want to get totally away from it, because that gives my brain time to readjust, to reassess what it is. And also recognize that there's a lot of positive things in the world that I can enjoy. And it's that enjoyment that reduces our stress level, making us better able to take on more stress once we get back, Because if our bucket is almost full, then we can only take on so much. But the time off lets us reduce some of that stuff that's in the bucket. So again, we can put more stuff back in there again. Because if we do not empty that bucket somewhat or reduce it, it's going to overflow. And when we overflow, again, shortness of temper, facial expressions, inability to tolerate mistakes, and getting loud or verbally aggressive at certain periods of time, that sort of cause disruption in your ability to be productive in the first place. So taking those short terms off, but when you literally take it off, don't take it off and substitute it for, let me get a little bit of this taken care of at that time. Take it off. Take the time off altogether.
Sounds like you talking to me.
Yeah.
You see that black backpack over there?
Oh, yeah.
I call that my portable office.
Yeah.
So I got my stuff in there. I got my laptop in there. I got my headphones in there. I got my extra plugs in there. I got my newspapers from different days. I got reports that I want to read and keep up with. I feel naked without my portable office. So I have to force myself to leave it at home sometime.
Yeah.
And go out, and it's like,
Okay, so Victor, is this weird? And it probably is. What I used to do, people would ask me, what are you thinking about? And I would tell them, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I guess it's impossible, I think, to think about nothing.
It is very impossible to think about.
But
nothing.
That's how I felt, okay? There were points where, even during work sometimes.
Yeah.
Where I just stop.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I finished something and I just stop, okay? And just
our
not
brains,
think about, and nothing would be whatever came into my head, but I would just kind of be zoned out, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to put it.
In those moments, we're not focused on that responsible issue or subject matter.
Mm-hmm.
Our minds just sort of drift into something that may have been a thought, a comment, maybe the wall we're looking at, the color of the clothes that someone has on.
But I did it
But
purposely.
there's some thought that we're going to be having.
Mhm.
Now, do we think that thought when we get that question is worthy of responding to that question? You know,
Exactly.
Or we might even wonder, why are you even asking me a question such as that in the first place? That's not what I'm getting. What I got in my mind. That's my business, not yours. So those kind of things are going to happen. That we do take a away from the responsible concepts into just mundane concepts. So when we get that question, we automatically interpret that question means something serious or important or responsible, and that may not be what we're focused on. We might be thinking about what I'm going to eat for lunch. We might be thinking about what I watched on TV last night. Or we might be thinking about that fight I had with the wife, or I got to do something with my 16-year-old. But that's not worthy of me responding to your question, whoever you ask that question. So we just sort of and zoning out. Yeah, we do that. But our brains are constantly working. They're continuously working. And for instance, us sitting here in this office, do you think about the fact that you're sitting in that chair? But you're sitting in the chair. Your brain's already figured that part out. That's what you're doing. And if we sit here, we're relatively comfortable. Okay?
Yeah.
What happened if you sit in that exact spot till tomorrow morning? Would you still be comfortable? No, you wouldn't. Because the stress that we're actually under, we're able to tolerate it for a period of time. But a prolonged period of time under that exact same amount of stress will begin to break us down. And that is the emotional as well as the physical situation as well. And this is why it's important to make that time off. Get up, move around, do something different. Give your body and your mind something else to focus on and think about so that we are better able to handle the responsibilities when it's time to do that. Because we will burn out. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Because we are human.
Talking to Victor Sims, 504-582-9422. Will Sutton.
Well, what's a good length of vacation versus time off? Can you call 2 days vacation? Can you call 3 days vacation? I know a guy who right now is taking 3 weeks vacation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that is awesome. Honestly, I don't know that I can get myself to a 3-week vacation.
Oh, I could.
I could. Of course, it does help that somebody is financing his vacation.
Yeah. That does help a lot.
Right.
Yeah. I can't in that regard.
A lot of it depends upon the amount of stress and anxiety that I'm dealing with. On how much I need in order to really recuperate. Like I said, once when I used to take these 2 weeks off and I worked at a hospital, the first 3 days, my mind is still rolling about responsibilities that I had at the office. What did I leave? What I need to get? As a matter of fact, 2 days before I go on vacation was the most stressful time around because I had to get all this stuff done in my own head before I could leave to make sure that I'm ready. And then 2-3 days after, I'm still thinking about that. That's because we become habitual, responsible people. And when we're a very responsible person, you tend to get into getting the job done as well as possible because it gives you a healthy feeling about yourself. And you just want to get it done. And again, and this is the one that sort of has a double-edged sword to it, as I mentioned during the break, that if I am in a position that I thoroughly enjoy, like Ro was talking earlier, do I become that person? Does what I do become who I am? Do I assign that to myself that this is who I am, what I do? And that's when it really can get difficult for us emotionally. Because if it do have time to come off, or in one of the worst times for an individual such as that, what a lot of people think is a good thing, retirement. There's a lot of people who go into retirement because there's this arbitrary time period set up. Say when you hit that age, you go to retirement, and that's not what they want to do. Because now they become very comfortable with this existence, with this responsibility. And again, they've tied themselves, their identity, to this responsibility. So if I'm not doing this thing, then who am I? And I can set into it. And that 3-week fellow, I tried it once. I was under a huge amount of stress at one point in time. And I told my boss, look, I know the hospital only gives us 2 weeks. I need 3. She said, well, I said, I got to get away. I got to get away for a while. It was really rough. I took the 2 weeks. Beginning the 3rd week, I told my wife, I'll be back. She said, where you going? I said, I'm going to just go pass by the hospital and see what's going on over there. I wound up in my office straightening things up. People up and said, no, I'm not really here. Don't worry about seeing me. There was something about doing what I had to do that now I have to get back to it. So I had become that person who was what I am, what I do. Right. And I wasn't doing it, and I'm sitting at home. I've been to the beach for a week. I've been at home for a week, and now I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs. And, okay, I got something to do. Now, for some of us who have that situation, that demonstrates that you're a responsible person, that you enjoy what it is that you do, and what you do gives you a great deal of satisfaction. And that's where the rub can come in, because at that same time, I can wind up overdoing it. I can wind up working too much with this identity. And again, the last person to know that I'm having a problem is usually going to be me. But people around me are going to know, because of my temperament has changed, less tolerant of any mistakes, less tolerant of glitches, more willing to become more verbally aggressive than normal, because I'm wondering in my mind, why aren't you other employee able to get this job done like you're supposed to have it done, not recognizing that there's some rationale that they may be having. So instead of having a conversation with the employee about their difficulty, I'm more, coming down on them because they're not doing things I want them to do. So I have to recognize again that maybe their inability to overcome this is something I need to do as a manager. But if I'm a little tense and burned out because of that, I won't see those little nuances in their performance and try to find ways to get through that. So taking time off is helpful for us to be able to be sharper in what we're trying to do and get the job done as well as it possibly can be.
Well, this reminds me of an interview I watched just a few days ago. High-profile actor, decades of professional career, and the interviewer was asking about his career choice, and he was talking about how he would not respond well when he wasn't working.
Okay.
That he, it's
okay.
like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Nobody's called or whatever. And, high profile guy and not getting to work. He was like, He said, I learned that I wasn't an actor. Acting was what I do.
Right.
And I had to look at those breaks and decide, who am I?
Yeah.
But acting's my work.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow,
Yeah.
I'm probably not in the position to have that kind of life, but I thought that was pretty good.
That was a revelation for him, to recognize that what he did was not who he was.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we get caught up into that and we tie these two things together, and it gets to be very difficult to deal with that, because as a human being, there's nothing you're going to do forever. You're going to get away from it. Change, the only thing that's consistent is change. Change is going to happen. But if I'm locked into this particular thing and identify myself as who I am, if I can't do that anymore, then I have a trouble. I have emotional trouble, and I might even have behavioral trouble, based upon the fact that I've tied myself to this behavior and defined myself as what I do. Bad idea. We are who we are. What we do is what we do, but that's not who we are.
Victor, the employer is very important, since I'm sitting here talking to you.
Yeah.
And the reason why I thought about that is because they all aren't going to look and see that this particular person has worked 20 hours more than everybody else.
Mhm.
And they may look at that and go, right on.
Right.
That's my guy. That's
Yeah.
my girl, as opposed to maybe I need to talk to him or her and see what, talk about the importance of that.
Yeah, and that is an important aspect to pay attention to, because the employer is looking for the production of whatever it is that they're attempting to accomplish and get done.
Right.
That's what he's looking for, and he's looking for any employee that's going to do that production. And the more they can produce, well, the better it all for him, because he or she is making more financial benefits from that. But at the same time, you can totally forget that this is a human being, and this human being has a limit to their ability to be productive in such an efficient rate. So that's why I used to check, and my point was 50 hours. 50 hours 1 week. If you do over 50 hours 1 week, we need to have a conversation. I need to know what's happening with you. I need to know what's going on with you. I wish other employers would do that, because they'll find a more productive employee when you recognize that you really need some time off. Mm-hmm. Now, some of these people I would tell, because their attitude was like, why did you call me down here? Well, see, that's one of the first things that let me know, okay, we might have a problem.
Yeah.
Since I am your supervisor, if I call for you, you're going to question me as soon as you see me? Well, that lets me know, okay, that might be the sign. I need to ask you some more questions about how you're doing, how you getting along with people. And I might even check with your coworkers and see, what's happening with them there. Mm-hmm. And if I got that point, which I did a number of times, where this person demonstrated facial expression, body language, look tense because of they haven't had the conversation with me, I'd recommend, okay, I tell you what, why don't you go home today?
And we're going to break, but before we go to break, I want to say I thought about when you talked about 3 weeks vacation. I worked in a situation where during football season, we made an agreement with the boss that broke the union contract. We would just work from September to December.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
We would just work. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if we got a day off, we took a day off, but we would just work. If you give us an extra week of vacation. And he agreed. Yeah. Right. Okay, so instead of 2 weeks, didn't tell anybody. It was just between us. Okay, like I said, broke the union contract. I probably shouldn't say that too. But we'll just work.
Yeah, you had an understanding.
Yeah, we'll just work.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to go to break. I'm Will Sutton, and this is Ro Brown, and we've been in conversation with Victor Sims, talking about mental health in the context of taking vacation and time off. When we come back from the break, we're going to look at a few things that you might not be aware of, and some that probably you are aware of. What's going on with Nolan Wells over in Mississippi? Mm-hmm. The mayor has hit 6 months in office, and she's touting her accomplishments. And the governor has something new to say about New Orleans. He's putting us in our place. So let's hear what he said yesterday. He's had a news conference talking about Meta, but he couldn't help himself, and he has to say something about New Orleans. Mm-hmm. So we're going to share that with you as well. This is WBOK, and Ro, we might have time for a call or two. What's that talk line number?
The talk line number is 504-582-9422.
This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
It's off the top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
As America celebrates our 250th birthday, I continue to reflect not only on where we are, but how we got here. Like millions of Americans, I am deeply proud of this nation. Make no mistake about it, I am proud to be an African American, and I am equally proud to be an American. And those two identities are not in conflict. They strengthen one another. Yet I worry that the story being told about our nation's founding has become too narrow, a move by some to erase or whitewash our history. It sometimes suggests that the birth of American freedom belonged to only one people, one culture, or one experience. History tells us something far richer and far more diverse. From the earliest days of the struggle for independence, African Americans, indigenous people, and immigrants stood beside the colonists in the fight for liberty. Some fought as free men, others fought while still enslaved, believing that the ideals proclaimed in 1776 would one day include all of us. Historian Henry Louis Gates Jr. has documented the indispensable role of people of African descent played in the Revolutionary era. Retired Lieutenant General Russell Honore has likewise reminded audiences that the Continental Army drew strength from people of many backgrounds. That truth should not make any American uncomfortable. It should make every American proud. Because the foundation of this republic was never built by one race alone. It was built by people of different colors, cultures, languages, and faiths who shared a common belief that freedom was worth fighting for. America's strength has never come from uniformity. It has come from people of different races, cultures, and faiths choosing to build one nation together. That is our history, that is our promise, and that is the America worth celebrating. This is Norman Robinson, Off the Top.
Norman Robinson is back.
Can you hear me now?
And he's taking no prisoners.
Can you hear me now?
Each weekday, Norman Robinson brings you commentary with Off the Top.
The incident was shocking, disturbing, disgusting, disappointing, and sad.
Each weekday, Off the Top with Norman Robinson is heard exclusively right here.
It's Off the Top with Norman Robinson on WBOK 1230 AM.
Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
New Orleans thinks they're so special. They used to have 4 assessors, 2 clerks, a sheriff that ran at a different time. I mean, it just on and on. That parish is going to operate exactly like the rest of this state. And the people of this state want that. So when the mayor recognizes that, and when she understands that they have to get their fiscal house in order, just like this state has got its fiscal house in order, we'll have a discussion. Thank you.
All right, y'all need to get your act together.
I ain't talking to you.
Fiscally, and you need to act like every other parish in the state.
Mm-hmm.
All 63 of them.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't need to be different.
Yep. Yep.
Man.
New Orleans thinks that it's special.
Well,
New Orleans is special.
I was going to say, we are special. I mean, my goodness. Take
Okay.
New Orleans out of the state of Louisiana and watch the federal government numbers go up and watch the spending in the state go down. I mean, it's just.
Well, I look at it this way, I mean, we got, Louisiana has some absolutely great places, great, unique places.
Absolutely,
Louisiana does. Take New Orleans out of Louisiana, however, and it's Arkansas. Okay? That's how I look at it. It's Arkansas.
Yep.
And, it's, I hate to keep saying this, but it's part of the MAGA playbook.
Yeah.
Find the biggest, blackest city you can find and go at them. And that's what this is.
Yeah. Well, one report from the Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. So this is not an out-of-state group. It's our own Louisiana Department of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. And so they are responsible for looking at how we're doing with the money and from the different places in the state. As you said, there's some nice places around the state.
Terrific places.
Yeah, and
I love traveling around Louisiana.
Yeah, one parish gets attention for this or that or the other thing. And according to that report, New Orleans has accounted for $5.1 billion. What would Louisiana do without that money?
Yeah.
So, we bring in a lot of money. So you're going to tell me that Orleans Parish is no different than Bienville?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or St. John?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kensaw.
Kensaw. I mean, come on. And I've been to each of those parishes, and
me too.
I enjoy going to those parishes.
Yeah.
But they're not New Orleans in terms of bringing in the money. And Reverend Calhoun talks about this all the time. We send all this money to them, and they want to beat us up.
Well, but I guess when you think we're going to get the money anyway. Well, no, I mean, I'm sure that's how they feel. What you going to do? You're going to, can you stop yourself from sending us the money?
Right.
No, you can't.
Right. Well, Mayor Moreno has hit the 6-month point in office as mayor.
That was fast.
And it was fast. It was. One day there's, winning a campaign, and then shortly after it's series of appointments, and for her deputy mayors and other appointments. Then she's having an inauguration, and then she's rocking and rolling. On that very first day, you had executive orders and lots of other things. So she's been touting the accomplishments of her administration, even as she is in a back and forth with the governor. So let's hear a report about Mayor Moreno at 6 months.
As New Orleans Mayor Helena Moreno celebrates 6 months in office, she's now outlined what she believes are her biggest accomplishments so far. In the report released in the last 2 hours, Moreno says one of her biggest achievements is putting the city on track to achieve long-term fiscal stability after inheriting a severe budget deficit. She says she secured $100 million in emergency reserves and $125 million in additional revenue. Other big accomplishments, according to Moreno, include reducing violent crime, streetlight projects, and securing control of the Sewage and Water Board from the state. Moreno also noted economic development, strengthening major event security, government reforms that reduce spending, and initiatives meant to improve quality of life. But she says there's still a lot of work to do. In the report, Mayor Moreno said, quote, "We will keep tackling our financial challenges, responsibly improving city services, making our neighborhoods safer, and creating more opportunity in building a stronger New Orleans."
Okay, so that was Cerise Gibson from WWL TV. Jared, do we have time for the additional clip or no? Yeah? Okay. So let's hear from somebody who knows this from the inside.
Hey everyone, I hope you're having a great day. So today actually marks my 6 months in office as mayor of the city of New Orleans. That's right, 6 months ago I was sworn in as the 63rd mayor of the city of New Orleans. And I knew that as soon as I got sworn in, I needed to immediately work on some key things. One, really enhancing our basic services. So that's our infrastructure, that's our streets, making sure that we continue our crime reduction. Like that was like main priority, along with our finances. And so on the infrastructure side, we've been able to repair more than 5,000 streetlights. We have patched more than 15,000 potholes in the past 6 months. We know that fixing potholes isn't enough, which is why we're hiring 50 DPW workers to work on mill and overlay work on our streets to really smooth out our streets, bringing a lot of that work in-house. So far, we've hired 20 of those 50 workers. We've also started hiring in electricians in-house. We didn't have any electricians working for the city of New Orleans. The traffic lights, we're working on repairing those as we speak. You may have noticed that after yesterday's severe weather, we didn't have all the traffic lights blinking. We did have a couple, but we didn't have a bunch of them all across the city blinking because of the bad weather. So some of those repairs you can see are happening. On our finances piece, we were able to build up our reserves with more than $100 million. Joe Giarrusso has been working on creating efficiencies and savings across the board, saving millions and millions of dollars on overtime, reducing travel by more than 90%. So a lot of different efficiencies, key things happening on the budgeting piece as well. On public safety, we are the safest we have been. We have the lowest numbers that we have had since 1969 when it comes to our murder rate. That is phenomenal. And it's both law enforcement, but it's also the level of work that we're doing on prevention as well. And a lot of that work is because of our health department. On economic development, we've got big things happening in New Orleans East, major projects being announced, everything from NSA to Charity Hospital. We are about to launch a new project dealing with really revamping Canal Street that I'm really excited about. So lots of things happening. Progress is happening.
All right. Well, that was the mayor, former journalist, doing her own report about her administration's first 6 months. A lot of work done, a lot more work to do. And as I would, focus on the accomplishments and set aside the governor fussing for this moment.
First 6 months,
Yeah.
I'd say she's done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's under the circumstances.
Yeah.
It's a hard job.
It is.
You in a hole.
Yeah.
Got it. You in a deep hole.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, it's 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock on the dot, and I'm Will Sutton with Ro Brown. We're going to get out of here and make room for the front porch. And after that, Tavis Smiley. And after that, Gerard Stevens, the G-Man. On the Reality Check. Stay tuned for all of that and much more. This is WBOK 1230 AM. What he was just talking about.